Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be previewing Groups E and Groups F of the Club World Cup. Sort of looking at the best fantasy picks, how the group's going to go, that sort of thing. Before we get into that, of course, though, if you could drop a like and subscribe and all that good stuff, it does massively help the channel and boost it in the algorithm and allows other people who enjoy this sort of content as well to see the video and hopefully enjoy it too. So if you could do that, that would be absolutely fantastic. But let's get into it. Let's start with Group E, where we've got Inter Milan, as everybody knows, River Plate, Monterrey, something like that, and Ulra, U-R-A-W-A, I think. So yeah, them four, shall I say. Let's start off with the group winners, who I think will group winners, and I think everybody would not be surprised for me to say it would be Inter Milan. Now, there is something to mention with Inter Milan. Simeone Inzaghi, the ex manager of Inter Milan, has left his duties. He's actually going to manage Al Hilal. So that is something to bear in mind when you're looking at the picks. However, I still think that these are going to win the group. I still think they're the strongest team in the group. And I still think there's some really good options. Let's start with Denzel Dumfries in defence. I think he looks like a really decent option. 7 goals so far this season. I mean, fantastic for a defender. He's 6.3 million, so more of that sort of higher price point as such, but I do think he is a really nice option. Also, we saw him in the Champions League as well. He was outstanding. I also think, to be honest, that the other fullback, DiMarco on the other side, obviously in the Italian national team, he's a really good option as well. He got 9 assists so far this season. So yeah, fantastic option there. And I do really like Thuram as well up front. He's got 21 goal contributions in all competitions, and he's only 8.5 million as a forward. So if you're desperate for a forward who's potentially a bit of a differential, Thuram, I do think, as I said, with his 21 goal contributions this year and 8.5 million, I do think is a really tidy option. Moving on to the second place team in the group, who I do think is finished second. I do think it's I'm terrible with names, but Monterrey, or River Plate are the best. Whoa. I do think that Montreal and River Plate are pretty close, but I will edge it River Plate. I do think they're going to come second. They've got one outstanding pick who I'm sure everybody's aware of recently. Fabrizio Romano is talking about him quite a bit, linked to Real Madrid. It might even happen before, I'm hearing, at 4.3 million. And that is Franco I've written it down to help me with this one. Mastuono. He's a 17-year-old wonder kid. He's got 4 goals, 4 assists this season. He is definitely the pick at 4.3 million. If you do want a River Plate play, he's the one to go for. Then I'm going to go with CF. I want to call him CF. I think they're going to finish third in the group, shall I say. The best picks there. There is a player that I'm sure people will be aware of, and that is Sergio Canals. He used to play, I believe he used to play for Real Madrid, but he definitely played for Real Betis for a point in time. He has got 28 goal contributions so far in the Mexican division. I think he looks like a really good option. There's also a German up front. And what I mean by that is a guy called German Bert Tereme, who is 6.1 million, who's got 20 goals this year. So if you do want a striker, potentially a little differential, Bertrame might be the player to go for. So that is the group wrap-up. Oh, no, of course, there isn't the group wrap-up. The Red Diamonds are still left. Can't forget about the Red Diamonds. And there is a pick from the Red Diamonds. If you want one, I would go with a guy called Water Tunabe, who is 5.4 million and has got 6 goal contributions, I believe, this season as well. So if you do want a real differential, maybe go with him. Yeah, so that's Group E. That's Group E for you people. Let's move on to Group F. Group F, we have got Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense, Ulsan, and Malum. I think Sundowns they're called. So that's the 4 teams. As you can imagine, Sundowns are going to win the group. No, probably not. I need to stop doing that because I've got to go all the way to the top and back down again. No, I think Dortmund are going to win the group. Obviously, I do think they're going to win the group. There's a few players I really like. I've got Racing in my team right now. He's had a really good campaign for Borussia Dortmund. 4.9 million, I believe, as well. So little sort of a low price point there. I think he's a good option, sort of the left back. Julian Brandt as well this year, 6.5 million, so a bit of a cheaper. Zadayemi at 8 million, but I prefer Brandt at 6.5 million. He's got 5 goals and 10 assists in the Bundesliga this year, so I think that makes him a pretty good pick, if you ask me. I do really like Julian Brandt as midfield option. And, of course, the main man up front is, of course, Guirassy, who has got 21 goals so far this year. I do think he's probably the pick for Borussia Dortmund as well. The only thing with Borussia Dortmund, to bear in mind, and this is the same with Fluminense, who actually I'm going to put second, I'm going to give that away, is that they play each other in the first game. And they're the two quite comfortably strongest teams in Group F. So, in my opinion, you might be better bringing them in for the second game week potentially, rather than them in for the first when they play the best teams. Because when they play against Sundowns and Ulsan, I think you've got a really good option for really upside or potential as such for Borussia Dortmund and Fluminense. But yeah, them two do play themselves in the first game. I do actually think Dortmund will beat Fluminense in the first game as well. So potentially you could have them for the whole time. But yeah, they're my three best picks, and I think I'm gonna have them all. Reyerson, Julian Brandt, and Grassi. They're the main three. Although, as I said, there is other options, but I think they're the best three. Moving on to second in the group, and I sort of gave this away, and that is Fluminense. There's one main pick who I really like from Fluminense, and that is a guy called John Arras. Arras, I believe. 6.2 million, and he's got 4 goals and 11 4 goals and 11 assists, I believe. Or 4 goals in 11 games, should I say, not 11 assists so far this season. So that's pretty decent, is my opinion, for assists. And I believe he's on penalties as well. So if you do want, and I believe he's on other set piece as well. So John Arras at 6.2 million, I think, is probably the pick for Fluminense if you want to go anywhere with that. Moving on to Ulsan then. Ulsan, I do think they're going to come probably third in the group. I mean, it's probably a nip and tuck with that one, in fairness. There's one pick again from them. There's not loads of picks here, in these groups, in my opinion. So there has been sort of like one pick for each. But Ulsan, a guy called Faras is probably the pick for me at 6 million. 8 goals and on penalties as well. So if you do want a penalty taker from Ulsan, maybe when they play against Sundowns, you might be able to get a return there. A guy called Ferraz is his name, I believe. But yeah, 8 goals and on penalties. And obviously, with a fantasy game, who doesn't love a penalty taker? And he's the one. So yeah, go get him if you want one. And the final team is Sundowns. Mame Lodi Sundowns FC. I'm going to go for. I'm going to get hideously butchered in the comments. I do apologize. Please let me know in the comments below how to pronounce them. And don't say when you're doing it, Scott, you're an idiot. Well, you can do. I'll probably just ignore you if you do that. But you can say that. But they've got one player that I like the look of. And this man, to be fair, has had an absolutely blinding season. And that's Lucas Ribeiro, who's 5.7 million. So not, again, a really, I think, a decent price point. You can easily fit that into your team. And he's got 24 goal contributions and he's on penalties. 24 GA and on penalties. Seems like a possible pick to me. But yeah, he is the final one for Sundowns. So that is the picks for Dortmund, Fluminense, Ulsan, and Sundowns. So to get back over it, you've got in this group, you've got Inter Milan, who I think are going to win, River Plate, CMM, as I like to call them. And of course, Uruguay or something like that. And then in Group F, you have got Dortmund, Fluminense, Ulsan, and Sundowns. That's how I think it's going to go. But yeah, thanks for watching, of course. And apologies. I do apologize for the pronunciations. I generally do, because these teams are trying to compete in a tournament and I'm butchering names. But yeah, I guess you have to put up with it a bit. But yeah, thanks all for watching as always. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now, everybody. Bye for now.